Well, hello there! So great that you've joined the class, and I'm really excited to work together with you and dive into the world of compositions. But before we can do that, we first have to understand what exactly a composition is and why it's so important. So you have something that you want to capture. We'll call this the subject. Whether that's a person or a landscape, it doesn't matter, it's your subject. Now, there are different ways that you can capture that subject. You can place your camera low to the ground, you can zoom in or out, perhaps even move the camera. Where do you place your subject in the framing, and how many elements do you involve in your shot? So many questions. For instance, my subject is Lucia. She's going to assist throughout the entire class, so Lucia, student, Lucia. Now, I can choose to put her in the middle of the frame alone or together with a tree. So even though that my main subject is Lucia, who I'm asked to film, I can choose to add more or less other elements in the shot. You have thousands of different ways to capture your subject on the video, but only a few of those are the right choice. And once you understand how composition works, making that decision can go super fast. With a lot of practice, it becomes more of a feeling rather than following a set of instructions. Now, the way that different elements are arranged in your shot can feel good and relaxed, or just odd and irritating. And to help with that feeling, there are a set of rules, some of which you might have already heard about, like the rule of thirds or the Fibonacci spiral, also called the golden ratio, leading lines, the theory of colors, etc. Now, these rules will help you to define where your subject should appear within the frame, like the rule of thirds, which is one of those most basic set of rules which will help you to drastically improve your videography work, and so we'll have an extended look at that in the next lesson. Next up is flow, also an important ingredient of a composition. Even though that your elements could be placed correctly by the rule of thirds, the flow might be completely off. And flow means, where do the eyes look at, and where do we guide the eyes to? Now, for instance, we have Lucia very prominent in the shot, so that's the first thing we look at. But she's looking over her shoulder to Lorenzo now. Oh yeah, Lorenzo, student, Lorenzo. Yeah, you might know him, he's also from our YouTube channel. Anyways, the second thing that our eyes do now is move into the direction that Lucia is looking at until we reach Lorenzo. So that is one way of using flow, guiding the eyes to explore the shot. And we can even bring this a step further in the way we edit, but that is for later in this class. So far, we've got the rules and the flow, and the last one is story, or more specific, the visual story. If your character feels lonely and sad, we can play that. But we, as the filmmaker, we can also visually show that. For instance, we can place Lorenzo very small in a shot with lots of empty space around him. You can see what I'm doing right here, right? In function of the story that I'm trying to tell, I change my composition. So these are the three ingredients that we're going to tackle within this class to create a composition, which are the rules, the flow, and the story. Thank you for watching, and in the next lesson we're going to start with the rule of thirds.